A 63-year-old patient sat down in my office, leaned forward, and said something I'll never forget. He said, "Dr. Carter, I've stopped trying. It's just too embarrassing." He wasn't talking about giving up on a hobby or a sport. He was talking about his marriage, about his confidence, about a part of himself he thought was gone forever. And what broke my heart wasn't what he said. It was that he had been silently carrying this for over 2 years before he finally walked through my door. If you're over 60 and you've noticed changes in your erectile function, weaker erections, less reliable responses, or a complete loss of confidence in the bedroom, I need you to hear this clearly. You are not broken, and this is not just part of getting old. There are specific biological reasons this happens, and there are specific evidence-based solutions that work. Today, I'm going to walk you through both. I'm Dr. Emily Carter, a board-certified urologist with over 12 years of experience helping men over 60 reclaim their vitality, their confidence, and their intimate lives. I've worked with thousands of men who thought their best days were behind them, and I've watched them transform completely once they understood what was actually happening in their bodies. Before we dive in, I need a quick favor from you. Hit that like button right now and drop a comment below telling me where you're watching from. It genuinely helps this information reach the men who need it most. Let's talk about why this matters, and I mean really matters, beyond the obvious. Because here's what most men don't realize. Weak erections after 60 are almost never just a bedroom problem. They are a signal, a warning light on your body's dashboard. And ignoring that signal can have consequences that go far beyond your sex life. The first problem is cardiovascular. The blood vessels that supply the penis are among the smallest in the body, and they're also among the first to show signs of damage when something is wrong systemically. Studies show that erectile dysfunction is one of the earliest warning signs of cardiovascular disease, often appearing 3 to 5 years before a cardiac event. The second problem is hormonal. Low testosterone doesn't just affect erections. It affects your energy, your muscle mass, your mental clarity, your mood, and your motivation. Men with untreated low testosterone are at higher risk for depression, osteoporosis, and metabolic syndrome. The third problem, and this one is often overlooked, is psychological compounding. Every time a man experiences a disappointing intimate encounter, his anxiety increases. That anxiety then causes performance pressure, which triggers the release of adrenaline, which literally constricts blood vessels and makes the next experience even harder. It becomes a cycle that feeds itself. Understanding these 3 layers is the key to breaking free from all of them. Now let's get into what's actually causing this, and I promise you, the answers are more specific and more solvable than you've been told. The number one cause of weak erections after 60 is reduced nitric oxide production. Here's what that means in plain language. Nitric oxide is the molecule that tells the smooth muscle lining your blood vessels to relax and open up. When that happens, blood flows into the erectile tissue of the penis and an erection occurs. It's essentially a plumbing and chemistry problem. After 60, your body produces significantly less nitric oxide, partly due to aging of the endothelial cells that line your blood vessels, and partly due to chronic low-level inflammation that damages those cells over time. Think of it like this. Imagine your blood vessels are garden hoses. When nitric oxide is working properly, those hoses are wide open and water flows freely. When nitric oxide production drops, those hoses narrow, and no matter how hard the pump works, not enough water gets through. On an emotional level, this is the invisible culprit that makes men feel like they're failing, when in reality, their body is simply running low on a critical chemical. Practically speaking, the most evidence-backed way to boost nitric oxide naturally is through diet. Foods rich in dietary nitrates, like beets, arugula, spinach, and pomegranate, get converted to nitric oxide in the body. A glass of pure beet or pomegranate juice daily has been shown in clinical studies to meaningfully improve erectile function within 2 to 4 weeks. Combine that with L-arginine and L-citrulline supplementation. 3 grams of L-citrulline daily has strong research support, and you're directly addressing the root cause. Robert, 67, a retired firefighter from Ohio. He told me, "Doc, I've been healthy my whole life. I don't understand why this is happening." His testosterone was borderline, but his real issue was vascular. We started him on a nitric oxide-focused nutrition protocol: beet juice every morning, dietary changes, L-citrulline supplementation. 6 weeks later, he came back and said, "I feel like I'm 45 again. My wife thinks I went on some kind of secret vacation." He hadn't changed medications. He hadn't done anything dramatic. He'd just given his body what it needed. The second major cause is declining free testosterone. Now, total testosterone is what most doctors check, but free testosterone is what actually matters for sexual function. Free testosterone is the portion that's available to your cells. The rest is bound to a protein called SHBG, sex hormone binding globulin, which increases as we age, trapping more and more testosterone and leaving less available for your body to use. Biologically, this is like having money in a locked safe that you can't access. Your total wealth looks fine on paper, but you can't spend any of it. The emotional impact is significant. Low free testosterone doesn't just affect erections, it creates a general flatness, a loss of drive, motivation, and what I call the edge. Men describe it as feeling like a dimmer switch was slowly turned down on their life. Practically, there are several ways to naturally support free testosterone levels. Zinc is critical. It inhibits the aromatase enzyme that converts testosterone to estrogen, and most men over 60 are quietly deficient. 30 to 45 milligrams of zinc daily with food is a strong starting point. Resistance training, specifically compound lifts like squats and deadlifts, is one of the most powerful testosterone-boosting interventions known to science. Even 2 sessions per week produces measurable results within 8 weeks. And sleep is non-negotiable. 90% of your daily testosterone is produced during deep sleep, particularly in the early hours of the night. Quick pause before we continue, because what I'm about to share next is the one thing most men get completely wrong, and it's the reason so many of them never fully recover. The third cause is chronic inflammation and oxidative stress. This is the silent driver behind almost every case of erectile dysfunction I see in men over 60. Chronic inflammation damages the endothelial cells that produce nitric oxide. It increases SHBG, which traps testosterone. It accelerates arterial stiffening, which reduces blood flow, and it disrupts the nerve signaling that coordinates the entire process. Think of chronic inflammation like rust inside your pipes. The pipes aren't blocked yet, but they're corroded, and over time, flow decreases and function suffers. The emotional reality here is that men often feel like they're doing everything right, exercising, eating reasonably well, and still declining. That's because low-grade inflammation is invisible and insidious. It doesn't hurt. It just quietly degrades function over years. Practically, the most powerful anti-inflammatory interventions for sexual health are omega-3 fatty acids at 2 to 3 grams daily, specifically EPA and DHA from quality fish oil. Daily consumption of berries. Blueberries, strawberries, and cherries are particularly potent. Eliminating processed seed oils from the diet, which are major drivers of systemic inflammation, and reducing alcohol consumption, as even moderate alcohol significantly elevates inflammatory markers and disrupts testosterone production. David, 61, an attorney who came to me convinced he needed medication. His testosterone was actually within normal range, but his inflammatory markers, CRP, interleukin-6, were elevated. We addressed his inflammation first. Dietary changes, fish oil, better sleep hygiene. He didn't want to hear it at first. He told me, "Dr. Carter, I came here for a prescription, not a nutrition lecture." I told him to give me 8 weeks. 8 weeks later, he came back, shook my hand, and said, "You were right. I don't need the prescription anymore." The fourth cause, and this one surprises almost every man I tell it to, is pelvic floor weakness. Most men have never heard that they even have a pelvic floor, let alone that it affects erections. The pelvic floor muscles are the muscles that surround and support the base of the penis. They play a direct role in achieving and maintaining erections by compressing the veins that allow blood to drain out of the erectile tissue. When these muscles are weak, blood drains too quickly, and the erection can't be sustained regardless of arousal or blood flow. Biologically, this is like trying to fill a bucket that has a hole in the bottom. You can pour as much water as you want, the bucket won't stay full. Practically, pelvic floor exercises, commonly known as Kegel exercises, are not just for women. A landmark study published in the British Journal of Urology found that pelvic floor rehabilitation restored normal erectile function in 40% of men, completely, without any medication, and significantly improved function in another 35%. The exercise is simple. Contract the muscle you'd use to stop urinating midstream. Hold for 5 seconds, release for 5 seconds. Do 3 sets of 10 repetitions, twice daily. Results typically appear within 6 to 12 weeks of consistent practice. The 5th cause is medication side effects, and this is one of the most under-discussed issues in men's health. Dozens of commonly prescribed medications significantly impair erectile function, including certain blood pressure medications, antidepressants, antihistamines, and cholesterol-lowering drugs. I see men every week who are taking medications that were prescribed years ago without anyone ever telling them about this side effect. If you're on any long-term medications and you've noticed a decline in erectile function that started around the time a medication was introduced or dosage was changed, this is a conversation you need to have with your doctor. There are almost always alternative medications or dosing strategies that reduce this side effect. Never stop a medication without medical supervision, but absolutely advocate for yourself and ask the question. Here is your simple, practical action plan starting tomorrow. Step 1. Every morning, drink 1 glass of pure pomegranate or beet juice. No added sugar. This directly boosts nitric oxide production. Step 2. Start L-citrulline supplementation at 3 grams daily, taken with your morning meal. Step 3. Add 30 milligrams of zinc daily with food and 2 to 3 grams of quality omega-3 fish oil. Step 4. Do your pelvic floor exercises twice daily. 3 sets of 10 reps, morning and evening. This takes 4 minutes total. Step 5. Review any medications you're currently taking with your doctor and specifically ask about sexual function side effects. Step 6. Commit to 2 resistance training sessions per week. Even body weight exercises are sufficient to start. And step 7, protect your sleep. This is non-negotiable. Aim for 7 to 8 hours and prioritize sleep quality by keeping your room cool, dark, and screen-free for 30 minutes before bed. That's it. 7 steps. Start tomorrow. If you've been frustrated, embarrassed, or quietly grieving a part of yourself that you thought was gone, I want you to hear this directly from a doctor who has sat across from thousands of men in exactly your position. You are not broken. You are not too old. What you are experiencing has specific biological causes, and those causes are addressable. I have seen men in their late 60s and 70s achieve remarkable recoveries, not through miracles, but through understanding what their body needs and giving it consistently. The body wants to heal. It wants to function well. It just needs the right inputs and a little time. Your best years are not behind you. They are ahead of you. And they start with the decision you make today. If this video helped you, I need 3 things from you right now. First, hit the like button. It takes 1 second and it helps this reach other men who need it. Second, comment below and tell me, which of the 5 causes surprised you the most? And third, share this video with a man you know who could benefit from hearing this. Subscribe to the channel for weekly, evidence-based content on men's health after 50. I'm Dr. Emily Carter, reminding you that after 60, vitality isn't lost. It's waiting to be reclaimed. Take care of yourself, gentlemen, and I'll see you in the next one.